1. Fail to tackle your issues. Some individuals believe that if they simply ignore their issues, they would miraculously disappear. However, this is not true, since if you do not act on your issue, it will simply get larger and stress you harder. When you fail to tackle your issue and instead expect that it will miraculously disappear, it demonstrates that you are a low-value guy, since a high-value man wastes no time in confronting his difficulties. When you identify an issue, address it while it is still in its early stages before it grows too large and overwhelms you. 2. Not pursuing your ambitions while you are still young. It is very easy to create objectives in life, but getting after and achieving those targets is where most of us struggle, since it is very easy to prepare, but it is very difficult to work on those goals. But to be a better man, you must overcome your lethargy and delay and pursue your dreams. 3. Refusing to learn from one's mistakes. Failing does not equal the end of the world. Every successful person has failed several times before becoming who they are today. There can be no success without failure. Therefore, giving up on something due to a major one-time failure makes you a weak guy. You must never allow failure to prevent you from achieving your life's objectives and purpose. 4. Being wasteful and inefficient with your time. Laziness is a quality that sneaks into you without you recognizing it, and if you let it, it will overwhelm you and prevent you from being successful in your life. Only a weak man gives laziness a chance, but a guy of high worth learns to detect and condemn sloth quickly. Laziness may wreck your life if you let it, since it will always stop you from accomplishing something amazing, so constantly be conscious of it and fight it off as soon as possible. Only a weak guy would rest and hope that one day everything will be the same. 5. Dwelling on the past rather than concentrating on the future. Everyone has committed things in the past that they regret, but you can't alter the past, so you have to go on with your life. When you focus too much on the past, you lose sight of the present and are unable to see what the future has in store for you. Dwelling on your past makes you weak, which is why you should resist doing so. 6. Constantly blaming others for your mistakes. Blaming others for your actions and mistakes is one sign that you are a weak guy. You will never learn from your mistakes if you constantly blame others and never accept responsibility for your behavior. Replacing a bad habit with a new positive habit is actually very easy. But in order to successfully replace a habit, you must understand two things. 1. The structure of habits. 2. The speed at which habits change. Let's dive into both of these two topics a little deeper so that you have a better understanding of how to easily change bad habits. The structure of habits. All habits can be broken down into 3 basic components. The cue or trigger. This is the part of the habit loop where you are triggered to take some sort of action through a cue in your internal or external environment. The action, good or bad. This is the part of the habit loop where you actually take action on the habit you want to adopt or drop. The reward. This is the part of the habit loop where your brain receives a reward for taking the desired activity. Charles Duhigg, the author of The Power of Habit, and an expert on behavioral psychology, suggests that most people fail to adopt new habits because they do not understand the structure of habits. More specifically, most people fail to adequately reward themselves for taking action on a beneficial habit. Think about it this way. Most addictive and destructive habits have a built-in reward system that requires little or no input from you. Smoking a cigarette, snorting cocaine, or drinking yourself into oblivion are all easy habits to adopt because they light up your brain with the neurotransmitter dopamine. These substances naturally reward your brain and encourage continued usage even though they are detrimental to your overall health and well-being. When you try and replace these bad habits with more constructive habits, you can hit a roadblock because the reward part of the equation isn't immediately felt or perceived. Meditation, healthy eating, and exercise are all wildly beneficial for your overall well-being, but none of them have an immediate reward mechanism the way that a cigarette or line of coke does. Yes, after extended practice, exercise, meditation, and focused work will all become activities that naturally stimulate your brain in positive ways and reward you for taking action. But they need a little bit of help to get started. For example, studies have shown that consuming a small amount of chocolate post-workout releases similar chemicals and neurotransmitters to those that will eventually be released by the workout itself. Finding a motivating reward can be applied to any habit if you are creative enough. Eat dark chocolate after your workout. Swap cigarettes with push-ups and bubble gum. Leverage the Pomodoro technique with intermittent video game breaks to beat procrastination. If you are struggling to change a bad habit, then you probably aren't aware or consciously applying the habit loop. Before moving on to the next point, ask yourself 3 simple questions. What are some quests that I can set up in my environment to help me swap my bad habit for a good one? Throwing out all cigarettes and replacing them with packs of gum. What are some ways I can limit the barrier to action for my desired habit? Throwing all the junk food out of your house. How can I reward myself in a positive way that will encourage me to continue pursuing these habits? Buying an inexpensive item of clothing every day that you are sober. If you have seriously contemplated and applied all of these questions, and you still can't make your habit stick, then you are probably making this mistake. Unrealistic goals and expectations about the speed of adopting new habits. What would you say if one of your friends came to you and shared the following goals? I'm going to build a $1 billion business in 12 months even though I've never even launched a profitable company. I'm going to run a marathon in 3 months even though I need to lose 50 pounds and haven't gone running since high school. I'm going to go out and successfully date a Victoria's Secret model even though I'm terrified of women and haven't gone on a date in 2 years. I don't know about you, but I would probably laugh them out of the room. These goals seem absurd and completely unachievable to the outside viewer. However, these goals are very similar to the habits that most people set. Think about it. Habits are effectively just daily goals, and most people's goals sound something like this. Even though I haven't worked out in years, I'm going to train 6 days a week for 90 minutes and become a bodybuilder. Even though I eat fast food 4 times a day right now, I'm going to eliminate all processed foods and eat salad 5 times a day. Even though my body is used to waking up at 9 a.m., I'm going to start waking up at 5 a.m. every single day starting tomorrow. When you think about them in this way, most people's approach to forming new habits is so blatantly absurd it's not even funny. So what are you supposed to do? Well, if you really want to make your new habits stick, then you need to be honest with yourself and approach your new habits in a realistic and progressive way. After all, life is a marathon, not a sprint. Here's a simple 5-step process for creating or transforming any habit. 1. Make it so small you can't fail. Most people try to change too much too quickly. The real key to making a habit stick is to make it so small that you can't say no. If you want to get in shape, start by doing 1 push-up. If you want to become smarter, start by reading 1 page. If you want to quit smoking, start by smoking 1 less cigarette today. If you want to quit procrastinating, simply do 1 thing that you're supposed to do now. Set yourself up for success, and make your new habits so easy to achieve that they are impossible to fail. 2. Apply the compound effect to your habits. If you were to take the habits listed above and compound them by only 1% each day, in 1 year you would have improved each habit by roughly 37%. While that might not seem like a lot, if you compare this progress using something easy to understand, say finances, that's the difference between making $100,000 a year and $137,000 a year. If you were to extend the compounding effect to 10 years, you would start off earning $100,000 a year and $1,370,000 a year. 3. Break big habits down. If you continue compounding habits, you will make dramatic improvements in the first 2 to 3 months. But it's important that you keep your habits easy and reasonable. For example, if your goal is to write your new book for 60 minutes a day, break the 60 minutes into 4 15-minute chunks that you complete throughout the day. If you want to do 100 pull-ups a day, do 10 sets of 10 to make the habit easier to complete. 4. Never miss twice. Look, you will mess up and slip on your habits, and it's okay. The rule of thumb is that when you fail, you get back on the horse immediately so that you never miss twice. It's okay to miss 1 workout this week, but don't you dare let it extend to 2 or 3. It's fine to miss 1 day of meditation practice, but you had better plant your ass on a yoga mat tomorrow. If you follow the rule of never miss twice, you can fail your way to any goal you desire. 5. Be patient and find a sustainable pace. If you are reading this and you are under the age of 40, then chances are very high that you will live past 100 years old. So why in the world do you feel the need to rush everything in your life? Greatness takes time. Building an exceptional life takes time, and building exceptional habits that make you an exceptional human being take time. Instead of fighting this law, work with it. Play the long game. Be patient and go at a sustainable pace. As you've already seen, even a 1% daily improvement will have a huge payout if you stick with it for long enough. So be patient and remember that slow and steady wins the race.